Everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, the only weekly show on YouTube where you can have your questions answered by a medical doctor who's also a champion bodybuilder. Ask Dr. Testosterone is brought to you by his book, The Bible of Bodybuilding 2, over 700 pages full of everything you need to know about training, nutrition, supplementation, and of course, PEDs. That's available on Amazon.com. The link is in the description. And if you're on Amazon, might as well get my book. Such a great book, Real Bodybuilding. And now, all the way from Athens, Greece, please welcome Dr. George N. Touliatos. How are you, George?
Good, Ron. So 3 days for Christmas, huh?
Yeah, wow. This year went fast. Yeah. How old is your daughter now?
She's 10 months old.
So her birthday's in February?
Yeah. So it's almost in 2 months from now. And she's standing. She's able to stand.
Wow.
And I mean, I guess by next month she will walk.
Wow.
She's standing by herself.
Yeah. Exciting times. Exciting. Yeah. She already says dada or daddy. What did she say?
Yeah. Papa. Yeah. Things like that.
Yeah. They always say that before mom. They always say daddy or dad.
Fascinating. Huh?
Yeah. It pisses moms off. But let's get to some questions. We've got some great questions. This is our last show of the year, guys, by the way. So I'm taking off.
Are you going away?
Yeah, I'm going to Miami to see my daughter. So nice warm weather down there. It's very cold up here in Boston right now.
Yeah. How cold in Celsius? Because you posted something today in Celsius.
That's a good question. I should have figured this out first because it's 9 degrees.
But how much minus?
I'll tell you. Well, no, it's not minus, but let's see, 9 degrees Fahrenheit.
Celsius is minus something.
Yeah, so 9 degrees Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius? Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay. Minus 12.778.
That's really cold. Huh?
Yeah.
When I was in New York 2 years ago, exactly, it was -1 Celsius.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold. I mean, it was more or less snowing, but it was really cold because it was windy. I guess it was humid from the harbor. But -12, come on. The coldest I've been was in Hungary when I was studying Budapest. It was -7, but it was dry.
Yeah.
It was bearable, but -7. I've never been more cold than this.
Oh, it makes you feel. It snowed the other day. It really feels like Christmas now. It's freezing cold. We got snow on the ground. Frosty the Snowman.
Boston is the northest big city of the States, right? It's not.
Yeah. I mean, after that, it's like New Hampshire, Maine. They're not as.
It's Canada.
They're not as big as Boston. Boston's almost like New York. It's comparable. It's not as big, but it's the same. All right, we got some great questions. This is a great question here. Why do some bodybuilders take Viagra or Cialis before a workout, and is it dangerous?
Because they want some vasodilation, and it works because it releases nitric oxide. And I mean, if it's dangerous, because you may feel hypotensive. But if you're taking, of course, your stimulants, it counterbalance. But there was a bodybuilder who had a hard on stage because of Viagra.
Oh well, he must have been stimulated. He must have saw something that got him excited.
No, it's just the vasodilation, nothing else. It's the erection, blood flow, because the Viagra, and you want it for the getting jacked,
Yeah.
But too much of it will give you headaches.
Sure. So, it's a good point you brought up about pre-workouts. They're usually loaded with caffeine, which is a vasoconstrictor.
Exactly. That's the point. And especially if they have ephedrine, your boner is gone.
Yeah.
If you take ephedrine before the workout, I've tried that 25 years ago. I was taking the Mach-1. Okay, let's say the red fuel.
Yeah.
I had it before the workout, and then I wanted to have I wanted to have sex with a girlfriend, and I couldn't have an erection because of the bloody ephedrine, because it vasoconstricts. Now, the opposite happens with yohimbine. Yohimbine works like ephedrine, but it vasodilates.
Yeah. It's a lot of bodybuilders take a low dose of Cialis every day. I take 5 milligrams every morning.
Actually, the Cialis should be taken 3 times a week because it has 48 hours, so it's taken for the weekend. If you want to take Viagra, it's every day. But Cialis, it's overkill. Don't spend your money. I mean, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is enough.
Okay. I mean, I'm only taking a, so I buy 10 milligram pills and I just cut them in half. I take a half a pill every day. I've been told that it's a good thing for your heart health, for circulation, because it improves your blood flow.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, those pills were made for pulmonary hypertension.
Yeah.
Now, also the Cialis improves the urethra flow, the prostatic portion of the urethra. So if you have a stenosis, meaning a narrowing in the part of the urethra that goes through the prostate, then you have a relief in urination.
Yeah.
When the prostate is enlarged and squeezes this portion. Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember years ago, the bodybuilder Hidetaka Yamagishi came from Japan? He was arrested at LAX at the airport and put in jail for like a month because he brought some drugs with him, steroids, and he brought Viagra. And he was very clear when he did interviews later. He says, listen, everybody, I wasn't taking Viagra for sex. That was for bodybuilding, for a really good pump, just so you guys know. And I think that was one of the early days. I think he was one of the first people that was doing that, but now a lot of guys do that.
Yeah, I mean, he did have the contract with Richard.
Yeah, Gaspari.
Gaspari had the plasma jet. It was excellent. It was red wine inside, and other things. So it gave you a great vasodilation. I mean, pre-workout.
Yeah. The only thing I remember, they're like they look like little blood. They look like fake blood inside a capsule. Remember?
Yeah, red. Yes, stimulant free. There was no stimulant inside.
And you had to take 10 of them. Do you remember that? Yeah, it was like popping it out of the blister pack and poop, poop, 10 capsules.
We were warming up in the warming before getting up to the show, and we're swallowing everything of to get jacked.
Cool. All right. Well, while we're on the subject of pills, this is a related question. Does any legitimate pharmaceutical company still manufacture Anavar, or is it all underground lab or fake?
Well, my pharmacist makes Anavar in Greece.
Oh, okay.
For medical purposes, which is SGPT elevated.
Yeah.
For the sake of that, now we can assume some trauma, some rehabilitation, but he makes 10 milligram pharmaceutical oxandrolone.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it's still made in the US, but I remember.
It's compound. It's compound. It's not pharma grade. I mean, it's compound pharmacy.
Yeah.
Now, pharma grade, the last thing was Bonavar from Thailand, 11 years ago, and 25 years ago from Italy, from Milan, Spa. Yeah.
Yeah. The original was Searle, the US company, I think, years ago.
And also US, it was Watson.
Oh yeah, Watson. There you go.
I had a colleague, a Greek American who works in Beverly Hills as a plastic surgeon, and he gave it to his dad because he had cancer. It was by Watson. It was super expensive.
Yeah,
around $100 the box.
Yeah, it still is when you buy it the underground stuff. I've seen it go for as much as $5 for a 10 milligram pill in the US.
Yeah, Anavar costs about 15 grand, the 1K, so it's super expensive.
Of course, and I think a lot of people sell Dbol and they pass it off as Anavar because it's
best case scenario would be Winstrol, which is very familiar to Anavar, but it's 3 times cheaper. It's 5,000 per kilogram.
Yeah, people love Anavar. All right, here's a good one: post-finasteride syndrome, which when you stop taking finasteride, you can have decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, low sperm count, gynecomastia, fatigue, anxiety, depression. So when you have a patient that's ceasing use of finasteride, what do you do to prevent all that from happening?
Because of the low DHT. So practically raise up DHT again.
Oh.
Okay, but listen, some people are going to say, oh, I'm going to lose the hair. So what do you want? What do you love more? Your baldness or your erectile dysfunction? Come on. You have to choose between them.
Yeah.
So bring it back either by cream or by proviron.
Yeah. I remember when I did my hair transplant in February in Turkey, the very last day we met with the doctor because they only have one doctor at the clinic. Everyone else is like a technician.
Just testosterone, but always with Fina or Duta. You can still remain your hair with those 2 drugs and testosterone.
Okay.
But don't add to the equation proviron, masteron, wishrel, anavar, and what else? The DHT derivatives.
Trend. Yeah.
Yeah, they cannot be blocked because they are after the equation.
Okay.
So testosterone is blocked, but all the DHT derivatives are not being blocked, and you're gonna lose your hair no matter how much phenol or duta you're taking.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the doctor told me because I was over 50, he said, no finasteride. We do not recommend it for people your age. I'm not really sure why.
Why?
Not sure why. I don't know why, but I didn't.
So, listen, you're not gonna lose your hair because they're permanent. You know, they're
well, this hair is DHT sensitive, the original hair, but they took the hair from the back of my head, which is not
follicles that have been
grafted.
They're not falling no matter what. You know,
I'm not worried. All right. So the next question is about phlebotomizing, which you've been recommending for years because people do get high hematocrits when they're using testosterone and other steroids. So you've recommended, going and donating blood or just throwing the blood away, I guess. A guy named Vigorous Steve recently said phlebotomy is no longer needed since high hematocrit and hemoglobin can be controlled with low amounts of Telmisartan. Thoughts?
Yeah, I used Telmisartan daily for a couple of years. And you can't say that it will make your phlebotomy vanish. It just postpones, okay? Because theoretically, it may lower the EPO release. But I guess every person who's raising hematocrit during DRT is due to sleep apnea, and just discovered. Yeah.
Wow.
I've been on the CPAP mask. It was the best decision I did. And if you're a smoker, of course, but most of the people that are using DRT are lifting heavily. They develop a big neck and they have obstructive sleep apnea because of the big neck. This was also what Ron McLean told us. And he said, if you treat this, then you don't see that elevation. So, yeah, Telmisartan is a promising drug, but it doesn't cure the erythrocytosis. For good.
Did you say you've been on Telmisartan yourself for a couple of years?
Yeah, of course. I was using 80 milligrams, actually, the higher dose. And I had, of course, also to go for blood donation at least every 3 months or 2. But I never treated my sleep apnea. And when I did the sleep study, I had 42 apneas within a night.
Wow.
It was horrible, yeah.
Oh, within the whole night? Because I've heard that like in an hour, some people do it.
It was very bad, yes.
Wow.
So, I've been wearing the mask, and you sleep, and you wake up so fresh. With you understand that your mind is very clear. You're having you don't have foggy mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good to hear. All right. Next one is about hair. Usually we talk about hair loss, but this guy's worried about his hair going white. He says, I'm 35 years old. I've noticed a lot of white hair. What can I take to restore my natural hair color?
Yeah, Dr. Ertog said that copper, that this guy also takes, is promising. So I'm not aware of anything else, just copper, but make sure that copper is not abused because as it accumulates as a metal, so it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, in the video comments, I said to the guy, of course, we're going to answer it on the show, but I said, don't be so worried about your hair being white because you can dye your hair black or brown or whatever. When your hair's gone, you can't dye it. It's gone. You should just be happy you have hair.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what the most famous hair dye in America for guys with gray hair is called? It's called Grecian formula. Because I guess Greek guys don't get white hair. I don't know. But that's for
I
you.
do. Come on.
I get some gray. But that's funny. Grecian formula is what guys have been with gray hair have been using for years to dye their hair back. All right. So that's what you should do. All right. Back to our typical TRT.
The discussion between Al Pacino and Sly. And it was Al Pacino say, I can't believe your hair is more gray than mine. And Sly replies, I'm so tired of dyeing them.
Stallone doesn't have that much gray, does he?
Yeah, because he dyes them all the time.
Oh, okay. He's almost 80 years old, that guy. He looks fantastic.
Yeah, 75 plus.
Still in great shape. All right, next one. I'm currently on TRT and have blood work coming up. Is it necessary to check SHBG and free testosterone, or am I just okay checking my free testosterone?
Yeah, but it also is HBG. And actually, there are some doctors that claim the reagents cannot assess precisely the free. So through SHBG, they calculate it. So, I mean, okay, check it out, you're free, but if SHBG is over 50, then it's a problem. Okay, so the lowest SHBG, the more liberation of the free testosterone.
Okay, fair enough. All right, you've talked about this many times, but we want people to be healthy. So what's the best supplementation regimen for a healthy liver, healthier SGOT, SGPT, etc.?
So smooth thistle, NAC, glutathione. Okay, the three main components. And you can add perhaps some lipoic acid.
Okay.
That increases also intrahepatic glutathione. But those three, okay, silymarin, N-acetylcysteine, and injectable glutathione.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, I did an interview with PJ Braun, who was, he should be the owner of Blackstone Labs, but because he was in prison, he can't legally own a company for a while. Anyway, they sent me some of their products, and one of them was called Gear Support, and it was pretty much everything you just named.
Yeah, and also Deca is some bite salts that they are capable of lowering GGT when you have cholestasis and jaundice.
Oh, okay.
So you can add this also.
All right, fair enough. Okay, this is a pretty complicated one. This is definitely for a medical professional. My HbA1c is 5.5, with the lab's upper limit being 5.7. Over the years on blood tests, my glucose has never gone above 5 and stays below 5. I've done a glucose load and a blood test 3 times a day. I've tested my sugar, and it has always been normal over the years. Do you think with an HbA1c of 5.5, it's okay to use human growth hormone?
I don't think so. 5.5 is kind of elevated. Check out your fasting insulin. It has to be single digit, below 10. And I mean, lower your carbs definitely. And I mean, get leaner in your midsection in order to 5.5 go down to 5 and then go for GH. Now, her talk says that GH in the long run will make you more insulin sensitive because you will burn your visceral fat, and then A1C will go down. Now, bodybuilders that have used GH release so much of the hormone that makes them to be insulin resistant. But anyway, because of the sick that GH does gluconeogenesis, release of glucogenolysis also of glucose to the periphery, 5.5 is on the cool number for a bodybuilder. Okay. I mean, I remember Steve Blackman told me that his A1C was always below 5. And that's the healthiest thing to do to have the most of the glucose assimilation. Okay. Otherwise, it means that as you go from 5.5 to 6, it means that you become insulin resistant and you're having glycemia in your blood. Okay. And this releases more insulin and more fat storage and more hypoglycemia and hunger, and it's a vicious circle, you know?
Yeah, and you become an average American, pre-diabetic. So, all right, here we go with, I'm at 300 testosterone. They're doing 300 milligrams of test a week, 150 milligrams Deca, and 20 milligrams Dbol 3 times a week. He's in the 9th week of this cycle. I'm thinking to switch to Dbol with MK677. What do you think about the cycle, and what would be the MK dosages?
Yeah, I mean, this is a GH booster, so it's different. I mean, the Anavar is a weapon before the workout, you know, make you stronger, more jacked, more glycogen retention. So the other thing is not a steroid though, and it's just a booster of GH, not even a GH itself. It doesn't sound so promising to add this. Okay, I would say, okay, you can add some GH, but I would say switch the Anavar with Panadol, let's say, but it's irrelevant, the MK677 to that, okay, because it's, I don't know, make you leaner, perhaps, or make you more, having a better recovery. Yeah. Now, about the doses, I never tried it. I tried sermorelin actually for 3 weeks because I stopped using GH after 4 consecutive years, and I wanted to see if my hypothesis can kick again. And I noticed that my IGF-1 was almost to the middle. I was always spiking over the range because my GH was legitimate.
Yeah.
So I used sermorelin because I wanted to wake up my hypothesis. So now my IGF-1 is close to 70-80% instead of 50%. I would say sermorelin is much better than MK677, but it's injectable, while this is oral.
How does sermorelin compare to the growth hormone as far as
no way. No, it doesn't spike the IGF-1 over 80%.
Okay.
No, the legitimate GH goes you over the top.
GH is the real deal. We say it all the time.
Oh, of course.
All right. Yeah. Our final question for 2024. If I take 250 milligrams testosterone per week and stack it with 50 milligrams of nandrolone phenylpropionate per day, what would be a good dosage for proviron? 50 milligrams per day or more?
Yeah, 50 per day, but MPP, not every day. Come on, man. Every other day at least. Come on, because it's propionate. So I would say 3 times a week or every other day, but not daily. Daily would be something like acetate ester, okay, or suspension.
So you could take NPP every other day, it's fine?
Yeah, of course it's fine.
Okay.
But if you want to stack it perfectly with testosterone, do testosterone propionate with MPP. That would be every other day, both, in the same syringe.
Yeah, that's true. You're using it. You're sticking yourself at the same time anyway. Why not? Makes sense. Yeah. Cool. Well, that is it. 2024, Doc. Man, this has been 34 shows on the new channel, and it's been quite a year. You became a dad shortly before the year began. Right. This is no. This year you became a dad. This year, so a lot of big changes. And I appreciate you doing the show on the new channel and everything. And guys, we have a tremendous resource here with Dr. Touliatos. We're very, very lucky to have him answering your questions. So please support him. Get that book. The link is in the description.
You spoke about the lineup of the Arnold.
Oh yeah, the Arnold lineup.
I mean, the top 3 would be, of course, Samson, Derek, and who else?
My top 5 was my top 5, and Giles agreed with me. We had the same top 5. It was Samson, Derek, Andrew, Brandon Curry, and Sean Clary. Oh, no, I'm sorry. William Bonac we have in 4th place, and Sean Clarita in 5th. But we all had
Raphael will compete. No,
Brendel. But you got Samson, Derek. You got 3.
Andrew over Brandon, right? Yeah.
I have Andrew over Brandon. Yeah. I think Andrew's getting better, and Brandon is.
He's a rising star. Yeah. Brandon is over 40, right?
Yeah, he's 42. It's funny. Bonac is 42. He's 42. Andrew Jack is 39. Sean Clarita is 42.
Really?
He doesn't look it, does he? He's got a baby face.
Yeah.
He's 42. And the youngest, I'm trying to think of who the youngest guy in the show. I think Carlos Thomas Jr. He's like 30 years old.
Of Samson will appear leaner, or perhaps the same or bigger than the Olympia.
I really, who do you wish was in the show that's not in the show?
Come on, Hari will take the year off because he was tired. Perhaps he wants to bring his best, or he's tired. Who else?
Nick Walker is waiting until.
Definitely Walker. Yeah, but
he's not. So he's competing in May. He's not. We're not going to see him till May. Martin Fitzwater. I don't think we're going to see him till the Olympia. I also think Sergio Oliva Jr. should have done the Arnold.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Why? What's he waiting for?
Yeah, exactly.
And why not Hunter Labrada? I know he usually competes later, but why not jump in the Arnold? I want everybody in the show. Like all the best.
305. Samson was 138 kilograms, so 305.
Yeah.
That's the heaviest, actually, because Rami, I don't think he won in 2020 over 300 pounds.
No, I think he was a little under. Yeah.
Yeah. Ronnie was 296. So nobody else.
Mm.
So Samson is the first Olympian over 300.
Yeah, and he's only the second Mr. Olympia ever who's 6 foot tall or taller. Arnold was.
Arnold was it?
Yeah, so there's been only 2 men in 60 years that have been 6 foot. Everyone else has been shorter. So, and the shortest, Franco Colombo, 5'4". Yeah, it's down here with me. So, anyway, that's it, guys. Submit your questions. We're not going to get to them until 2025, but that's coming right up. Don't worry about it. We want to wish you all a happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus, whatever it is, and have a very safe and happy new year. Put your questions in for the next show. And Dr. T, thank you so much. It's been a great year with you and looking forward to an awesome 2025. So that's it, guys. We'll see you next year on Ask Dr. Testosterone.